Hey everyone, Alan here. Going to give you a little lesson from Real World Self-Defense, a guide to staying alive in dangerous times by Jerry VanCook. Now, this is an old Paladin Press book. I have a lot of Paladin stuff in my library because I was a Paladin author, both book and videos. They put out a lot of excellent information. Some of the books are still available. You can find, even though Paladin is no longer with us. Some books I don't know if you can find anymore, maybe used copies. But I wanted to share this lesson from Jerry from chapter 1, Attitude. I think he hits on some important things. Colonel Rex Applegate, an American Office of Strategic Services, OSS, command officer during World War II, who was closely associated with Fairbairn and Sykes, explains this in his book, Kill or Get Killed, when he speaks of mental balance. The most basic fundamental of all is that of balance. Mental balance or stability is a state of mind that is necessary before physical balance can be achieved. Jerry was talking about prior to this passage about using our anger, and when we're mad, to as a focused anger to stop somebody that's trying to hurt or kill us, and not going berserk and just rabid dog wild. And so that's what Colonel Applegate's talking about as well. I had a chance to meet Colonel Applegate before he passed away. Remarkable man. It was amazing to sit down and have a chance to talk with him for a while. I really respected all he had done and had experienced throughout his life. And I also encourage, if you get a chance to learn from him through the books that are still available, or there's some video footage out there of him, do so. Good man to learn from, just like Jerry is from this book. So let's go on. Jerry says, my interpretation of what the Colonel calls mental balance here is that in a violent self-defense situation, we must each, in a sense, become two people. One of us must be subjective, letting our natural fear and outrage provide the fuel for our defense. But the other one of us, the objective us, must keep that fear and outrage from going wild and spending itself on an unproductive action. All of our efforts must remain focused on our ultimate goal, survival. And if we can break the mental balance of our opponent while retaining our own duality, we gain a tremendous advantage. That's the same as the Michonne meme that I've shared at Survive and Defend. When she said in that one episode of Walking Dead, anger makes you stupid, stupid makes you dead. Okay, so Jerry's talking about the same thing. We have to focus our anger and fear and the adrenaline to survive and not let it run rampant and make us stupid. What we need first and foremost when under attack is the warrior mindset. This was once also called the killer instinct, but that term is now used by everyone from athletic coaches to business executives and has lost much of its true meaning. The word warrior itself is in danger of going the same route, with nonsensical expressions like peaceful warrior and mental warrior and political warrior infesting our language. A true warrior goes to war, be it in uniform for his country or wearing Bermuda shorts when attacked on the street. A warrior is a man or woman who is willing to physically fight when there is no other recourse, not one who knows how to strategically negotiate a business deal. Now, people that know me, that that I like Dan Millman and The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Amazing book, and I like all of Dan's books. But I understand what Jerry's getting at. Sometimes it does seem like we've gone warrior this and warrior that way too far, and we're using terms that have nothing to do with the original meaning. And he's trying to get at the original meaning of a warrior, to wage war when it's necessary on the battlefield or for your self-defense. And I get that too, because the boardroom is not the same as the battlefield or the back alley where you're surviving. That doesn't mean we can't take military lessons and apply them to the boardroom. And that's where you get a lot of this warrior mentality in the boardroom and in business, because the military principles are equally beneficial in those other realms. But Jerry's trying to get at, survival, the battlefield, the alley where your life is on the line. And that's the warrior mindset that he wants people to have. He goes on, there was a time in human history when our ancestors did not question the morality of their predatory disposition. If they wanted something, be it the choice cuts of a recently killed woolly mammoth or the tribe's most desirable cave woman, they killed anyone who stood in their way of getting it. As civilization took root, most human beings began to realize that fighting and killing for selfish reasons was an immoral act, and they began to reserve such actions for defending themselves, their loved ones, and their property. This has been the stance of moral human beings ever since, that violence should be reserved for appropriate defensive purposes. Unfortunately, we are still surrounded by a good many immoral bipedal animals who do not play by these rules. Even more unfortunate is the fact that a large proportion of our society likes to pretend that predators simply don't exist. They have now gone beyond restricting violence to appropriate circumstances into a realm in which they claim that violence is always an incorrect response. Violence is never the answer is a mindless cliche parroted by many these days. In reality, counter-violence is sometimes the only answer. Going to repeat that last sentence of Jerry's. In reality, counter-violence is sometimes the only answer. Tim Larkin wrote a book about that. Because when violence is the answer, it is the only answer. And you better be good at it. And you better have the right attitude and warrior mindset that Jerry's talking about in this book. And that's what he's trying to get through to people. It's what I try to get through to people in my classes, in my writings, in my teachings. Attitude is more important than the skills you learn. The will to win is more important than the skill to win. I had that on my sniper jacket back in Korea in the 80s. Your mindset is the most important thing for your self-defense, because if you have the proper mindset, you can survive. You can have all the techniques in the world. You can be a black belt in this and that and learn all these things. You can carry a firearm, and if you don't have the proper attitude and the proper mindset, it will mean nothing, and all of that stuff will be worthless. You can have the proper mindset and have no training, no tools, and still survive. It's that important. It is the most important thing. Hope you enjoyed this little lesson based on Jerry VanCook's book, Real World Self-Defense. Good book. If you can find it out there, add it to your self-defense library. If you want more lessons and even deeper dives into this book and other books and a lot more, be sure to check out surviveanddefend.com's membership site. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos and different things to help you stay safe and defend yourself if you need to, with the utmost goal that I can help you enjoy life safely.